Welcome back. This is reading lesson number 22. This lesson is for you if you struggle with reading. I am April McMurtry, a professional reading specialist, dyslexia specialist, and the developer of the Learn Reading program. And I'm going to teach you to read through 100 videos. It's important that you start with lesson 1. I will be giving these lessons in order. So it's important that you start with lesson 1 and go in order. And I have that lesson linked for you in the description below. Here's how these lessons will work. Lessons 1 through 10 are taken from my Begin Reading packet, and that is linked next to the number 1 in the description. Lessons 11 through 90 are taken from my Learn Reading program, which is linked next to the number 2. And lessons 91 through 100 will be taken from my Adult Reading class, and that is linked next to the number 3 in the description. If you do not purchase the worksheets to follow along with me, that is perfectly fine. I want to help you right here for free. But you will need a piece of paper and a pencil to follow along with me and copy those words down. So if you don't have that, push pause, grab that pencil and paper, and then come right back. I will have 2 videos for you each week, and you are welcome to follow along right here for free. Or if these lessons are a little easy, or if you want more personalized help, you can join me in my live adult reading class. And that again is linked next to the number 3 in the description. If you want an online tutor, I have several that I can recommend, and I have those linked for you as well. Okay, let's get started. To pick up where we left off from last time in lesson 21, these are the last 4 words that you worked on as extra practice and homework. So I will say those for you now to make sure that you read them correctly. We were working on the hard sound of G. The hard sound for G is that kicking motion from the back of your tongue against the back of your throat. It's a g. G, a very quick, fast, hard sound, G. G also makes the soft sound, which I will be teaching you in the next lesson. So this first word is Glenn. Glenn, somebody's name. This word is glinted. Glinted. This is a good word to practice the difference between the short I sound, I, and the short E sound, eh. Make sure you get those different sounds with the different mouth shapes. I is made with a very narrow and wide mouth shape. The E is made with a more rounded and medium width mouth shape. So this word is glinted. Glinted. This word is snag. Snag. And this word is grandpa. Grandpa. Remember, A at the end says All right, in lesson 22, our sight word is there. There are 3 different types of theirs. And let me just explain quickly what those are. This is the one that we are working on today. That word means possession. Something belongs to a group of people, like their house or their car. So this THEIR, which is our sight word for today, means possession. Somebody owns something. There's also the more common, well, these are actually both very common, but this is one we use often in a couple different instances. First, it's a place, like put it over there. But then it's also just used in everyday conversation, like there once was a boy, or there was a bug in my bed today. So that is a very common but different word than this one. They're pronounced the same, but they mean totally different things. And then there is this third kind, which is a contraction, can't type, a contraction for they are. That apostrophe is taking the place of the A. And when you say they are quickly, it turns into there. There. And that's this word. It's pronounced slightly different than these two, but often you'll hear it pronounced the same. There, and there, as in they're coming or they're going to be here tomorrow. It's short for they are. Okay, so our one for today is the possession, THEIR, meaning something belongs to them, their house, for instance. So here is the sight word page. Remember to never sound out your sight words. We do not decode these. They're called sight words because they break phonetic rules, so you have to learn them as a unit, but go ahead and look at the beginning first letter or two or three up to that first vowel to give you a clue as to what that word is. So this is your sight word page. Push pause here and go over these words, or if you have the worksheets, circle them with your pencil. Okay, so our new grapheme for this lesson is C, and C will make its soft sound if the next letter is, let me stop sharing because I want you to learn this. This is really important and a very common rule. So C will make its soft sound, which sounds like an S, if the next letter is an E, I, or Y. Find a piece of paper and a pencil and write down those three letters, E, I, Y. Keep those handy because you're going to encounter a C or a G coming before one of those three letters, and that forces that C or G to make their soft sound. The soft sound for G is J. We're going to go over that in another lesson, but I wanted to introduce it in this lesson. The soft sound for C is S. So G will say J, and C will say S if and only if the very next letter is an E, I, or Y. If that very next letter is not an E, I, or Y, then they both will make their hard sound. The G will say G and the C will say K. In this lesson, the C is going to make its soft sound. So when you come to that letter on this page, practice it. Practice that saying the same thing as an S would. No voice, only air. S. Go ahead and keep saying the hard sound of the G, however, because we're not to the soft sound of G yet. We're not to that lesson yet. Okay, practice the correct sounds of all of these graphemes, and then on your new phoneme page, if you have the worksheets, separate each sound and mark where you hear the S sound. If you are working on this just with me online, then I want you to count how many sounds are in the word citrus. Citrus. Stop the video, pause the video, count how many sounds, and then come back. So in citrus, you have S, I, T, R, A, S. 6 sounds in citrus. It was kind of hard to hear that, and maybe the I also. These sounds are kind of hard to separate from one another. So make sure that you can isolate each one with a nice solid break in between each sound. S, I, T, R, A, S. Citrus has 6 sounds. And then as you go around through your day, grab an object and count how many sounds are in walnut or whatever you have next to you. Just count the sounds in words and make sure you separate and stretch those sounds so that you can isolate each one. That will significantly improve your reading skills. All right, here are our new words for the day. Remember, our C is going to make its soft sound because that next letter, the very next letter, it can't be like can't be 2 or 3 doors down. It has to be 1 step away, the very next letter. If that next letter is an E, I, or Y, then the C will make its soft sound and say S. So I'll do this first one with you. I'm going to put an S sound, an S over the C to remind me that that is going to make its soft sound. I'm going to tap 2 on this E. 1, 2. Yes, there's a vowel there. So yes, that will make its long sound and say E. Same with this one. Let me tap 2. 1, 2. No, there's not another vowel. 1 or 2 doors down. So no, it will not say its name. It will say its regular short sound, E. When you pronounce each sound, we have S, E, M, E, N, T. When you blend those sounds, we have cement, cement, cement. All right, on these next 3, I will be quiet while you work. Okay, so we know that the E is going to make its long sound E because one of the next two letters is a vowel. We know that the C is going to make its soft sound S because the next letter is a vowel. No, I got distracted. Excuse me. We know that the C is going to make its soft sound S because the next letter is an E, I, or Y. And this E is going to make its soft sound Eh. This E is going to make its short sound Eh because the next two letters are consonants. I'm distracted because I've been thinking about something that I wanted to tell you and I don't want to forget. So I'm just going to say it right now. It is important that you pronounce each sound before you try to blend it. So before you read the word, make sure that you dot each sound. This tells your brain that you know what each sound is, first of all, so that you don't have to wonder what that vowel is going to say down the line. You know what every single grapheme is going to say. It tells your brain, your subconscious, that you know how to read this word. Now that you have isolated each sound, then you can just put them in the right order, and that's what blending with a pencil can do, is keep those sounds in the right order and help you grab just one more at a time. So don't skip that dotting step. Dot each sound and then connect the dots. So when we dot these sounds, we have R, E, S, E, N, T. When you blend those sounds together, it's recent, recent, recent. Okay, on this next word, this E at the end usually says nothing. E at the end is usually silent. In this word and in this word, it is there to force that C to make its soft sound. So just keep that in mind while you sound these out. I'll be quiet while you work. Okay, so we know the A is going to make its short sound because the next two letters are consonants. We know the C is going to make its soft sound S because the next letter is an E, I, or Y. And E's at the end are usually silent. So the sounds are D, A, N, S, dance, dance. Good. Try the next one. Okay, this A is going to make its short sound A because the next two letters are consonants. Same with this one. The C is going to make its soft sound S because the next letter is an E, I, or Y. And E's at the end are usually silent. So the sounds are A, D, V, A, N, S. When you push those sounds together, you have advance, 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 advance. Beautiful. Okay, these next four are yours to do for extra practice. They're not easy, but they are doable. You have the rules now, the reading rules, to know how to read these words. If you have trouble with some of these longer ones, go one grapheme at a time. That would look like this. I'll go back up here to add. Just go back to the beginning every time and grab one more grapheme or one more letter. It would look like this. Start with 2. Add, adv, adva, advan, advance. Okay, do you see how I picked up every one new letter and then started back over every time? So you have that whole chunk at the beginning and you add just one more sound. You can do that on these if you want, and then I'll come back next time to make sure that you knew what those were. Here are your vocabulary words. They're not easy. They're getting a little trickier, but they are readable. There's no word in here that I haven't taught you how to read. So there's your vocabulary words. Here are your word cards to practice fluency. Here are your sentences to practice if you would like to push pause and look at these and practice them. And then here is a story with only controlled text, meaning there are only words in here that I have given you the rules to know how to read. All right, my friends, you are doing amazing. I am proud of you. I'll see you in the next video.